Cheering at pro wrestling shows in Japan is back, and 2023 is already shaping up to be a big year in the history of pro res. That's why you should listen to the Emerald Flow Show. From the Royal Road to the Green Mat, Paul and Gerard take you into the world of All Japan Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Noah. Not only do we analyze events, but we examine business, who is getting over, what angles are working or not. Occasionally, we take a look at other Japanese promotions like DDT and Zero One. So if you're looking for more coverage of the world of Japanese wrestling, check out the Emerald Flow Show on the Voices of Wrestling Podcast Network, available on all of your favorite podcast apps.
This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Welcome to Jumping Bomb Audio.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Jumping Bomb Audio, the #1 show all about the world of Joshi Pro Wrestling. My name is Taylor and I am joined, as always, by my very good friend and co-host, Kelly. Kelly, hello.
Jumping Bomb Audio Ichiban.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
We got to get Suzuki to record that at like a meet and greet.
Oh, that would be fun. Like a radio
yeah.
call. I do know that I don't think they have Minoru Suzuki, but there are AI celebrity voices. Who would be the strangest celebrity that we could get to endorse Jumping Bomb Audio?
Jim Belushi.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I probably could if you got a cameo. You could get the actual celebrity.
Yeah.
Most of them will say whatever you ask them to say. So who knows? Maybe next episode you'll tune in to
Cedric the Entertainer telling you you're listening to Jumping Bomb Audio.
And people will go, whoa, they really hit the big time now. All of our non-American listeners will be very excited to hear from Cedric the Entertainer, who I'm sure they all know and love very well.
Man, when I was a kid, I had two favorite stand-up comedians, and they were Cedric the Entertainer and George Lopez.
Growing up?
Yeah, like as a child.
Okay.
Those are the two that I hitched my wagon to for whatever reason.
Hey, you like what you like.
Yeah.
Well, we've got an interesting episode here because, frankly, not that much has happened in the last 2 weeks of Joshi. We are going to talk about the things that have happened, but the good news is that a lot of things are coming up in the next 2 weeks of Joshi, so we will be able to talk about all of that. So first, we are going to cover some shows that have happened, some smaller shows. We're going to start. Let's start with Tokyo Joshi here. They had a show called Cross, which was a Nao Kakuta produced show, now retiring in a few weeks. So producing this show at Shinkiba Ring, a super no vacancy sellout of 284 fans. Kelly, what'd you think of the show?
This is kind of my ideal show. Like, what was it, 85 minutes? Every match I enjoyed. That's perfect. That's all I want out of wrestling.
Yeah, and they hadn't put it up yet, but in a couple days, or maybe, I don't know exactly when they do it, but when they put in the chapter posts, like they do in older videos, where you can just sort of hit the skip button directly to the beginning of the match. I mean, you could get done with this show in about like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
It felt like. really flew by, only 4 matches. So I also really enjoyed it. Fun, good opportunity to see some people who you don't usually see, including some people who are retired. So you really don't get to see them. But we'll start it off. Speaking of that, the first match was, well, how am I going to describe this match? It was Kakeru Sekaguchi versus Cherry. Unfortunately, neither of those people were the winners of the match, not because they went to our favorite time limit draw, but because Himika was the special referee who ended up winning the match. Winning the match by pinning both
Stacked them up
Sekaguchi and Cherry at the same time. Really great to see Himika back. This whole match was sort of about her, really.
Yeah.
She was the special guest ref, but they had the long sequence in the middle with the pin reversals, tiring out Himika. I would say, I know she doesn't do it normally. I would say her 3-count cadence was below average, which I think was proved out by the fact she got tired out. She was really going for it, and I'm like, you got to conserve, and then that's what happened. Really love seeing Himika. It was funny because I think I went in not really. I don't know. Did they announce her before?
I don't think so.
Because she showed up on screen, and I was like, oh, it's Himika. And then as she was walking to the ring, I'm like, wait a minute. Is it her? And then I realized it was, but I was just thrown off by seeing her in referee gear as opposed to wrestling gear, and also the fact I haven't seen her in a while because she's been gone. But it was great seeing her. I miss her. I wish she would come back.
Yeah, I'm hoping this kind of gives her the bug again and she comes back, because she looked in great shape. She was having a good time. She won. I really enjoyed when she made her entrance. I just hear a dude in the crowd, "Hey, Becca!" just losing his shit. That was awesome.
She did get a very big reaction from.
She got a huge
crowd. So that was fun. So a fun match, good way to kick off the show, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah. One thing with this one is I always forget that Cherry is like very technically sound. And so it always kind of surprises me when she just whips out good looking submissions. I'm like, oh yeah, you did battle arts.
Yeah, she is. And I feel like I don't see her as much as I used to in the past.
Not anymore.
One of my most embarrassing, probably my most embarrassing Japanese wrestling story while I was in Japan happened with Cherry. I don't remember what show I was at. I was at some show at Shinkiba First Ring, and she had a booth set up, and I thought she was selling merch. So I walked over to be like, oh, cool. Let me look at the merch. Turned out she was not selling merch. She was selling tickets to a show she was producing, which I didn't figure out because she spoke very little English and I speak very little Japanese. And it took 3 minutes of her. And finally she was like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. And had to slink away. Very sadly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wanted to buy something from you, but I guess not, because the show is happening in 2 months or something. So anyway,
my last full day in Japan when I was there in 2019 was Cherry's 40th birthday. And both shows I went to that day, the Gato Move and YMZ shows, ended up being birthday celebrations for her.
There you go. So the next match on this show was the Nao Kakuta Battle Royal. I believe the official name was Battle Royal full of Nao Kakuta, which was Yuki Arai, Ariso Endo, Suzume, Mizuki, and Palm Harajuku, all dressed as Nao, which was a lot of fun. My opinion is Yuki Arai should keep that gear and wear it.
Yeah, that gear works for her, for sure.
It also looked, the others looked fine. There was nothing wrong with anyone else. It looked like Yuki had gone to someone and be like, make me this gear specifically for me.
Yeah.
The others look like they went to Nao and were like, hey, can I borrow this outfit? And she was like, sure, here you go. Yuki, it looked like she got hers made somewhere.
Yeah. But I mean, that makes sense because Yuki is a fair bit taller.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she probably wouldn't be able to wear her gear. So she probably got it made, and it looks great.
The match was won by Arisa Endo when she knocked Palm Harajuku out of the ring. I don't know. Do you have anything to say about this match, Kelly?
I thought it was really fun. I enjoyed the bit of them all doing her entrance. That was fun. I also enjoyed the bit of when Palm came in. Everyone was like, "Oh, we gotta take her out," and it proved she's a good battle royal person. She made it to the final too. So I guess there was something to that.
The third match on the card was Himawari going up against Maika Ozaki. Maika Ozaki winning in 8 minutes and 54 seconds with the Kiniku Buster. Thought this was a fun match. I don't have that much to say about this. I don't really have that much to say about any of this, but I enjoyed it all.
Yeah, I thought this was really good. This was like the first real match on the show. I thought Himawari really delivered and kind of delivers every time she's given an opportunity at like a decent spot on the card. So that's good to see. And I hope we get to see more of Maika Ozaki and Tokyo Joshi. I think she'd work really well in this company. So I enjoyed this a lot. I went 3.5 stars on it.
Himawari had some good strikes during it as well. So I agree with you. I think she's always very good, even though she's still on the younger side or on the less experienced side, I should say. But I think that she's very good, and I was happy that she sort of got this fun spot.
Mm-hmm.
The main event was a special tag match. It was all original Actress Girls, I guess Actress Girls Gen 1, I guess you would call it, as Sayori Ano and Natsupoi, formerly known as Natsumi Maki in Tokyo Joshi, defeated Nao Kakuta and Tai Hanma when Natsupoi pinned Nao with the fairy gift in 18 minutes and 46 seconds. Kelly, your thoughts on the main event?
I thought this ruled. Everyone worked super hard. Once they got the kind of like just fun retirement spots out, like getting everyone in the ring to do the smash in the corner, they really just worked their asses off and put on a killer match. I'm really glad that Stardom let this match happen. And I kind of think, I mean, especially with this and then them working with Sendai Girls more, I think they're looking to make more allies post Marigold. So I like that. And this was, I always forget how much I really enjoy Tei Hanma because I just don't see her that often. It's like, oh yeah, you're fucking great. I wish you would work more shows I watch. But yeah, this was awesome. I thought it was a killer main event and really capped off this show nicely. I went 4.25 on it.
Yeah, I went 4 stars. I thought the same thing. Good to see Hanma sort of in a quote-unquote bigger spot here, even though, you know, it's at Shinkiba First Ring, but sort of this area of focus. But I thought it was very well worked. I went 4 stars and a good cap to a very fun show, an easy watch. I would definitely recommend this show. As we said, it will take you, I mean, if you watch it literally from start to finish, an hour and 25 minutes. Every match is fun, a little bit different, so highly recommended.
It was fun after the match watching the wrestlers just interact while they're taking pictures and stuff, because Sayori always comes off as very like composed and stuff and just serious, and she was very much just being like a goofball after the match. It was fun to watch.
Well, what else happened this week? Well, Stardom also had a few Korakuen Hall shows. Probably the biggest Korakuen Hall show was their first one, which was on June 29th in front of 946 fans. Had a couple of title matches here. Kelly, you just want to talk about sort of the bigger parts of this show here? Yeah. Your thoughts?
Well, you know, you had the opener being a high-speed title match, and I really think it's brilliant putting Saya in this division because it really just they can run. She can just run through the division as every other champion does, but because she's not normally in it, it makes everything feel fresher. And it's like, oh, cool. This is a match I haven't seen a million times. So I think it's really smart to kind of start cycling people who just, oh, we don't have anything else going for you. We'll put you in the high speed title match. It gives you a different style to work for a little bit. So like that's really smart booking from Stardom. So that was good. You had the the future title match, which went to a time limit draw, and I don't know. I thought that booking was kind of bad because it was very weird that like Rina had the match won and was just a couple seconds shy of getting the pin, and like that makes sense as a finish if she's the challenger and not the champion, you know? Because then it puts heat on the challenger where it's like, oh, they didn't win, but they came close to winning. Whereas Rina being the champion, it's like, oh, okay, you could have just had her win at that point. But whatever. I guess they're being nice to Nanami and not having her take a loss. And then the main event with the tag title change, or the Goddesses of Stardom title change, with God's Eye, Konami, and Siri defeating the Stars team of Hazuki and Koguma. This match was awesome too. I thought everyone really had just like great chemistry together, and it was a kind of great styles clash between the high speed style with the champions and the kind of hard hitting technical style of the challengers. And hey, it's cool to see them doing something with Konami. She's got a title. That's awesome. So we'll get a bunch of fresh tag matches out of this title change. So I am all for it. This was great. I went 4 1/4 on it.
Yeah, I really liked the main event as well. Last 2 tag champions have lasted less than 2 months, so that's I think a story they're sort of pushing a little bit in Stardom. Thought it was fun. Thought the finish was fun. Noted by knockout here on Cage Match. And look, I was happy to see Fukigen Death in a high-speed title match at Korakuen and not on a big show.
Yeah, perfect.
That was great. I'm like, great. We've now checked it off. We won't have to see it again. And it's happened.
And it's like a perfect show opener, too.
Yes. Less than 5 minutes. Gets Saya another nice win. So I thought it was fine. And the Future of Stardom title match, I didn't really feel that strongly about either way.
Yeah. What do you did you watch the match with the new unit versus Wado Tai?
I did not see that match.
That's the one of like the middle card that I did watch, and I the new unit works well together. I kind of like this high speed unit essentially.
Yeah, it's a fun unit. I also do think that coming up, I don't know that they've announced the show, but I think May Sierra will be challenging for the high speed title.
That should be good.
Up, I don't know what show that is on, but some other Korakuen Hall shows on the 4th and the 7th. Biggest thing coming also out of these Korakuen Hall shows was more announcements of the 5-star Grand Prix. The tournament schedule is announced much shorter this year than in previous years. It will last from August 10th to August 31st.
Ooh,
so
I like
only
that.
3 weeks. It will be very packed, so we'll have lots to talk about on this show for the 3 weeks that is happening. They also announced more participants, but not all of the participants, which I found slightly strange. As the Blue Stars A block still has an X and a TBD in it of the 6 participants. That is Sayori Ano, Suri, Starlight Kid, Xena, and Koguma. Then the Blue Stars B block has a double X in it. That is Suzu Suzuki, Saya Kamatani, Hanan, Amisore, Saki Kashima, and Tekla. In that, we'll talk more about Tekla in a minute. The Red Stars A block has a TBD in it. That is Maika Hazuki, Natsuko Tora, Natsupoi, Konami, and Naname from Sendai Girls. And the B block, the Red Stars B block, is the only full block. It has all 7 people announced: Mayu Iwatani, Tam Nakano, Momo Watanabe, Azumi, Mei Sierra, Saya Ida, and Tomoka Inaba from Just Tap Out. I have to say, mainly, I think based on the fact that it has all 7 people, the Red Stars B block, I think, is the block I'm most excited for so far.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's pretty stacked.
I would say it's stacked. The Blue Stars A block is very strong, but we're missing 2 people because that's the block with Sayori and Shuri and Starlight Kid, which should be good. I think probably the block I'm least excited for is the Blue Stars B block, mainly because I can't believe we're letting Saki Kashima into the tournament.
Yeah.
So, do you think we're gonna get who do you think is gonna be in these 4 XTBD spots? Any guesses from you? Do you think we get an AEW person? Do you think they convince someone to go over to Japan for 3.5 weeks?
I could see them getting Willow potentially.
You think they're going to get Willow and take her off TV for 3 weeks?
Well, because she's not winning the Owen. We know that. So I think you could realistically do that because you need to. Well, when's Wembley? That's at the.
I don't know. I think it's going to be like Abaddon or something.
Oh no.
Or it's going to be like Sky Blue.
Oh. You can't have her off AEW TV that long.
To be fair, she hasn't been on in a while.
That's true.
They've done much better
That's
at not
true.
having her on at every second of the day. But I don't know. I don't think it's Willow because I think this Willow and Stat story is going to keep going.
Oh no, I think it will too. But I also think you don't need to build it every week. You can have Willow gone for a little bit and still have it be hot.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. No Mina Shirakawa announced so far. So we'll have to see what happens there as well.
She'll probably get announced. They probably didn't announce her because they didn't. Tony was like, well, that'll spoil it. She didn't win the title.
Well, now everyone knows she hasn't won the title and they still haven't announced her.
Yeah, so they might just be waiting for another show to do that or something.
What else happened on these Korakuen Hall shows? Lady C cut off part of her hair to give to Saya Kamatani as a sign of respect and then trimmed the whole thing. So now she has very short hair. I guess not very short. She has a bob, I guess you would call it. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong.
Okay.
Also, Tekla was suspended for attacking I believe it was a Stardom official. I don't know. Well, it was did you see this, Kelly? Have you seen this video yet?
No, this was news to me when I saw this in the notes for today.
So she was cutting a promo in the backstage area in front of the backdrop, whatever you call that thing where everyone cuts their promos, talking about blah, blah, this and that. And then she was like, which one of you is talking when I'm talking? And it was this woman who I guess was either is or was presented as one of the interviewers taking video with her phone. And Tekla took her belt off and started whipping this woman, which made me hope that it was like some trainee that they're like, you're going to pretend to be a photographer. And they didn't get one of these photographers to be like, we're going to whip you with this belt. So she whipped her with the belt and then she left the building and it was announced that she's suspended for the next 3 shows, which are the 12th, 13th, and 14th. There had been some talk that of Oedo Tai challenging for the tag titles, which it seems like this may be like pushing that off. But an interesting I don't know. I thought it was interesting, something they haven't really done before.
Yeah.
Yeah, the video is up on the Stardom Twitter, so you can see it there. They have both the promo. They don't have like the whole thing of the promo leading into it. They have the promo, and then they have the moment where she's like, "Are you talking to me? Or are you talking while I'm talking?" And then she takes her belt off and starts going. I mean, nothing crazy, but I was like, "Oh, I hope that's a wrestler and not someone they've just been like, yeah, she's going to attack you." And they're like, "Okay." And then all of a sudden they're getting whipped by a belt.
It does a lot to sell Wade Otai as actually dangerous instead of just cartoon characters.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I don't know, maybe there's something where Tekla's like, "Oh, I can't make the next 3 shows." And they're like, "Okay, we'll fold it into a storyline," which is also interesting. I don't know, but there's, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
In Marigold, what has been happening? Well, the last time we talked about those 2 time limit draws. Well, actually, there were 4 time limit draws between Mirai and Miku Aono in the national title tournament because they went to a time limit draw and then went to a draw again in 5 minutes of extra twice in a row. Well, I'm happy to announce that they did it a third time on the June 29th show, went to a time limit draw, and then went to a 5-minute draw as well. But that will fold into what is going to be happening. Sorry, I lost my train of thought because I'm getting a phone call. Okay. Anyway, that will fold into what's happening in their big show coming up. That's what
Rossi has been left just unchecked in his power, and you know what? Maybe that's not the best thing.
So we will see Tokyo Joshi. What has been going on? They had a show, Hypama Aid, which was a show put together by Rika Tatsumi and Yuki Aono to help with Hyper Misao's bills, her medical bills for her injury. Demonio Uno showed up, and unfortunately, Hyper Misao could not help because she was injured. So Hyper Rika made an appearance and defeated Demonio Uno in a match on that show. Tokyo Joshi also announced the participants for the Tokyo Princess Cup, an interesting list as a number of people are not on it. Mi Mashita, Maki Ito, Raku, Mahiro Kiryu, and Himawari all not on it. There are some people, of course, out with injury, Hyper Misao and Haruna Neko. The first-year rookies are not included, but here is the rundown of exactly what's happening, or who is in it, I should say. Starting from the people appearing for the first time in the Tokyo Princess Cup, that would be Wakana Uehara, Toga, Shino Suzuki, Haru Kazushiro, Runa Okubo, Ryo Mizunami making an appearance, and the first ever Gaijin to be included in the field is Zara Zucker. Kaya Toribami makes her third appearance. Palm Harajuku and Moka Miyamoto make their fourth appearance. Yuki Aeno makes her sixth. Rika Tatsumi making her ninth appearance. The 2015 winner of the tournament, Shoko Nakajima, makes her 11th appearance, the last remaining wrestler to have appeared in every Tokyo Princess Cup. Mizuki, the winner of both the 2019 and 2020 Tokyo Princess Cup, makes her 8th appearance. Yuki Kamafuku, her 6th. Yuki Arai, her 4th, along with Ariso Endo. Suzume makes her 5th appearance, and the champion, Miyu Watanabe, making her 6th appearance there. Thank you to Dramatic DDT for that list with all the appearance information there. But that should be good. Always fun, and should lead to some good matches.
Yeah, a little bummed that Himawari's not in there.
Yeah. Well, they've got a lot of good wrestlers now. So, Kimawari not in because they will be at the Eve show in England.
Okay. Oh yeah, that makes
that
sense.
weekend, because I think the weekend of the finals is the weekend of All In.
Okay.
So they'll be over in England doing that Eve and Tokyo Joshi crossover show.
That makes sense.
What else has been happening? Catch the Wave still happening. Nothing further has been uploaded onto the Wave YouTube channel. So we will have to wait for more of that. And that's everything that's been happening in the last 2 weeks. Before we get to the next 2 weeks, we will do an update of the Joshi Fantasy League. Kelly, unfortunately, to no surprise, still in last place.
Oh.
But I will give you some good. I'll give you some good, Kelly, which is that of the three of us, obviously last week we chose our new fifth person. Kelly's fifth person, his new person, was the most successful point-wise.
Yeah.
Of the three of us, that would be Saki earning 7 points in the week. Kelly with 241 points, still being led by Rina Yamashita with 67 points. I also calculated it, Kelly, just for fun. So far, you have made a good trade out because Miyu Yamashita would have only gotten you 6 points
Nice.
last week. So you are +1
Hell yeah.
on the decision to switch Miyu for Saki. So there you go. In second place with 327 points is Liam. Liam, very shocking, I thought. Once Liam chose Bozilla, thought I would be in trouble. Bozilla only getting 2 points last week, but still a good trade because Chihiro Hashimoto would have gotten Liam 0 points had she still be on the team. And Liam is the first participant to have a wrestler go over 100 points. That would be, of course, Unagi Sayaka, who now has 105 points after she won the CMLL. I'm going to get the name wrong. The CMLL ladies title.
That sounds right.
Or something like that. CMLL Japan ladies title. Hold on. I'm going to look it up.
It's whatever it is. It's very close to what you're saying.
It is the CMLL Japan women's title. There it is. She defeated Dark Saluda to win that title. I'll be interested to see how many times in the next 5 years that title is defended. And I think the over and under is 3.
Yeah.
Also, not factoring into the points, but Unagi Sayaka losing the Ironman heavy metalweight title.
Oh, thank
to Minoru Suzuki's entrance towel. So, but could win it back and get 10 points. So doing well there, but still in first place. It's yours truly. 337 points for me. Unfortunately for me, Ryo Mizunami getting 0 points. So it was a wash with Ibuki Hoshi, who of course is not earning any points now. And I have to say, not to brag, I have had only 4 point scoring wrestlers since the end of March, and I'm still winning this thing. Thank you. I thought I was going to be the first person with a wrestler over 100, but you on 98 and Miyuki Takase on 95 points. And sorry, Kelly, to say this, but Kelly has 1 wrestler over 50 points. Every one of my wrestlers, except for Mizunami and Hoshi, are over 50 points.
Well, just wait. Saki is going to take me to the winner's circle.
The promised land.
Yep.
As Miyu Watanabe getting over 50 points this week, now on 50 points. So, but still tight at the top, only 10 points. And we've got a lot going on in the next 2 weeks that could really upend the standings. And what are those things going on in the next 2 weeks? Well, Stardom actually in terms of their own shows, doesn't have a ton happening. They have a handful of house shows, as I mentioned, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, and a few others. However, they've got a lot of outside participation happening in the next 2 weeks. So we will cover that as we go through all of these promotions. Oz Academy has a show on July 14th. 2 big matches on that show. Sonoko Kato and Ryu Mizunami will defend the tag titles against Itsuki Aoki and Ayame Sasamura. And then Takumi Oroha will be in a 1-on-3 handicap match against Maya Yukihi, Sayori Uno, and Kakaru. That will be a triple AW title deciding match. The way it will work is that Mayumi Ozaki will observe the match, I guess you can say, and then at the end of the match determine whether Oroha deserves a shot at the AAAW title. It is not contingent on her winning the match, supposedly. But we'll see what happens there. It seems like not great odds in any way for Oroha. So we'll see what happens there. Tokyo Joshi has a big show coming up on July 20th. Summer Sun Princess from Korakuen Hall. Pretty stacked show here. Card is Wakana Uehara, Toga, and Runa Okubo will face off against Himawari, Shino Suzuki, and Haru Kazushiro. Chika Nanase will face Kira Summer. In the Battle of the Goblins, it will be Uda Takami will face Mei Saruga.
Oh, God.
So there will probably be a lot of yelling and screaming in that one. Then a 6-person tag, Yuki Aono, Raku, and Palm Harajuku will face off against Yuna Manase, returning again, Mahiro Kiryu, and Kaya Torabami. Yuki Kamafuku will face off against Nao Kakuta as she heads off into retirement. 1-2-1 Million, Miyu Yamashita and Maki Ito will face off against Mizuki and Emi Sakura.
That's a cool match.
In a tag match, there will be a special singles match. Aja Kong will take on Shoko Nakajima. And then 2 title matches at the top of the card. Suzume and Ariso Endo will defend their titles against Yuki Arai and Moka Miyamoto. And the Princess of Princess title will be defended. The champion Miyu Watanabe will defend against Rika Tatsumi. Kelly, your most anticipated match?
Oh, that's hard. It might be the Yamashita Ito versus Mizuki Sakura match. But actually, so the main event will obviously be great. But the ceiling on Aja Kong versus Shoko Nakajima is very high, I think. Because Aja Kong has been working her ass off lately, especially in these Tokyo Joshi matches. So I might go with that. I think I'm going with Aja Kong, Shoko Nakajima.
All right. Well, I'll go with the Goblin match of Mei Saruga and Uda Takami. I think that will be a lot of fun. Good to see Mei Saruga back in Tokyo Joshi. Hasn't been around too much, but maybe they'll use her a little bit more.
That would be nice.
What else is going on? Marigold has their big Summer Destiny show. I believe this is the full card. Match 0 will be Komomo Minami versus Rhea Seto, who is the former Rhea Marumori from Sendai Girls. Koke Amare and Chika Goto will face off against Victoria Yuzuki and X, a mysterious X. So many X's on this show. There will be a dance performance by the original Actress Girls cast with Princess Tenko. So get ready for that, whatever that means. Chiaki and Nagisa Nosaki will face off against the Gaijin team of Mila Grace and the real deal, Zeta Steel. And then there will be the 4th iteration. Mirai will face off against Miku Aono in the first round. of the United National Title Tournament. The winner of that match then on this same show will face off against Bozilla to determine the first title holder for the United National Title. Kelly, does this end up being a three-way match?
I think, yeah.
Right? They've got to at this point.
Yeah, at that point, I think you have to. Because then Bozilla, like, if she isn't going to win the tournament, she doesn't have to actually take the loss.
Well, no, I think the reason is Bozilla is going to be both of them, but then the whole thing is going to be like, well, yeah, we had to wrestle a whole entire other match.
Okay, yeah. That could be.
You've got like the built-in, like, hey, this is why this happened.
Yeah.
In the other tournament, Misa Matsui will meet Natsumi Shozuki in the Superfly, in the finals of the Superfly title tournament. Superfly. Dum, dum, dum. They had a big brawl on the last show, brawling all over the place, so that should be fun. A Marigold versus LLPWX match as Nanai Takahashi will lead Nao Ishikawa and Mai Sakurai against Shinobu Kandori, Takako Inoue, and Nori in that match there. And then, of course, the big two matches of the show. Utami will take on Io Sky, two former leaders of Queen's Quest. And if Julia is medically cleared, which supposedly we are finding out sometime, well, it has to happen in the next 6 days.
Yeah.
So sometime soon. If she is cleared, it will be Julia versus Sari. And supposedly if Julia is cleared, then Rossi will determine whether that will be for the Marigold world title. So some things still left up in the air. I don't know what they're going to do if they can't do that match. We'll have to see, I guess.
That would be rough if they couldn't do that match.
I mean, I guess you'd have to like call in a big favor and do Sari against someone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you could call, I don't know. I was thinking Marvelous and do like Takumi Aroha against Sari, but I don't know if you could.
Give the people what they want. Bring in Aja Kong.
Oh, yeah, that would be. Oh, God. Yes, and just tell them, do the match that you did. I mean, it's in a different, much bigger building, but do the same match you did that was so famous that no one ever saw.
Yeah.
Just do it beat for beat. That footage exists somewhere. I know it does, and it's never been released, and I've never been satisfied.
No.
Sendai Girls have 3 big shows coming up. The first one is on the 13th of July, a big tag match on that show. Chihiro Hashimoto and you, Team 200 kilogram, will take on Aja Kong and Jordan Grace, coming over for a little bit. Then they have a big Korakuen Hall show on the 15th. Yuna versus Yura Suzuki. Sakura Hirota versus you. Aja Kong, Hiroyo Matsumoto, and Zones will take on Veni, Millie McKenzie, and Miyuki Takase. Nina Samuels and Lena Cross will take on Sari and Chi-Chi. Then there will be a hardcore match, Jazz Chizako versus Momo Watanabe.
Sure.
Chihiro Hashimoto will take on Jordan Grace in a singles match. Ryu Mizunami and Manami will defend their tag titles against Yurika Oka and Mio Momono. And the main event, a double title match for both the Wonder of Stardom title and the Sendai Girls world title, will be a rematch. Mika Iwata will take on Saori Anou. Kelly, who emerges with both of those titles?
It would be the most like Sendai Girls thing to have Iwata lose, right?
Yeah, but that must be what's happening, right? I'm like, I don't think either way I guess it does make sense for Saori to win the Sendai Girls world title because that title never gets defended.
Yeah.
So you could just be like, oh, she's the champion and bring her in and 8 months when you're like, oh, okay, we'll do another title match now, which is seemingly what they do. Although I will say that having the title match here makes it seem like it's being defended more than usual.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at this. Titles. So Iwata won the title in September of 2023. This will be her second title defense. She defeated Veni back in April, and this will be number 2. Is that the most? Millie McKenzie, let's see. Well, Millie McKenzie never successfully defended it.
Yeah.
Back when she was known as Asuka, defended it twice successfully in 7 months and then lost it. And so, yeah, I'm just now looking at all these. So, yeah, you make it about 2 defenses, and then you got to give it up, sadly.
So, yeah, I think Sarah's coming out of this the winner, probably.
And also for Sendai Girls, on the 20th, they will have a show. It will be Mika Iwata will face off against Mina Shirakawa. So that should be an interesting match. That's the one thing where I'm like, why did they make this match? Would they make it a title match like 5 days after? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. That seems weird.
So we'll have to see. But also on that show will be Chihiro Hashimoto and Yu will face off against Starlight Kid and Miyu Amasaki. So as I said, Stardom wrestlers all over the place, just not prominently on Stardom shows.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Ice Ribbon has a show on the 14th. 2 title matches on that show. Yuki Mashiro will face off in a triangle ribbon match with Yuri and Saran. And the tag titles will be defended. Yuna Manase and Totoro Satsuki will face Hamako Hoshi and Makoto.
Isn't Yuri the main champion at the moment?
She is, yes.
All right.
Hey, double champion,
I guess.
And then Wave will be having their Catch the Wave finals going on. Hard to believe it's already over, mainly because we've barely seen any of it. Kohaku will face off against Haruka Umasaki. Saya Kamatani will face Itsuki Aoki. The winner of those 2 matches will face each other in the finals of the Catch the Wave tournament. But there's also the 2 other blocks. Yuki Miyazaki will defend the Elizabeth title in the final of the Elizabeth block against Sakura Hirota and Himiko. And Rana Yagami will attempt to win the Young block, facing off against Hanukkah. And also on that show, Yumi Oka returns. So that should be good. Good to see her back. But that is everything coming up in the next 2 weeks of Joshi. So we'll have Tokyo Joshi, Marigold, Sendai Girls, all to talk about next time. So plenty to cover. But that is all we have for this episode. Kelly, I turn it over to you for Kelly's Corner.
Oh, geez. What am I going to talk about? The first thing that comes to mind is this morning I read the newest released volume of Fist of the North Star here in the U.S. And every time I read that, I'm like, damn, this is like the greatest shit ever. I love watching dudes being dudes, exploding other dudes with their fingers. Like, hell yeah. And then what else? What else have I been doing? I successfully harvested a bunch of lemon balm and dried it, and I'll have it ready for tea at some point. So that's fun.
Wow, a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
Over there.
What about Taylor's Corner? What's Taylor up to?
Oh, what am I up to? I don't know. I saw Quiet Place Day 1 yesterday, which was fine.
Okay.
Didn't really feel that strongly about it. Thought it was very average. Saw it on a big IMAX screen that was very beat up. And
that's the worst.
Was very distracting because every time there was white on the screen, I was like, there's a dent, there's a dent, there's a dent, which was very annoying. But, it's the July 4th holiday weekend here in the United States. So have just been trying to relax and stay cool here. I don't know how hot it is where you are, Kelly, but
it's been going on and off. It's been more humid than hot.
Yes, it's been very soupy here, which is annoying because you walk and then you just become very sweaty, which is bad.
How are fireworks by you? Do you have to deal with just random people in your neighborhood just lighting off fireworks all the time?
No, although I didn't. Well, I have the big official, like the ones they show on NBC, happen like 10 minutes from me.
Yeah,
but I don't really get random people, although there were a couple last night, which I was like, we're a little past it, everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it's over. But nothing bad. It's, fine. I mean, I sort of live on a residential block, so people aren't really coming and doing much. Like, it isn't like there's restaurants or stuff like that. I live across from a Red Cross executive building, so it's a very quiet street.
Yeah, we get dipshits in the neighborhood just lighting off fireworks, usually from now until the end of August.
Well, the summer weather,
people
go crazy.
The cat isn't thrilled about it.
Well, that is all for us for this episode of Jumping Bomb Audio, but we will be back with you in 2 weeks' time for more. Until then, see you later.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hello there, everybody. It's me, Garrett Kidney, the co-host of You've Got to Be Kidding Me on the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network.
And I am Liam Jones, my full name, and I'm also a part of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network as a co-host for You've Got to Be Kidding Me.
We are a TNA history podcast that covers TNA 1 month at a time. We cover all the drama, all the matches, all the Vince Russo nonsense you could ever want in your life.
Have you heard of TNA? I bet you have, but would it be funnier if two people made jokes over it the whole time? Probably.
So if that sounds like fun to you, check it out on this very Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network, and Liam will do bits and whatnot.